listening to Erik Waddell Pause. This is episode 14, Pathway Through Technology. Today we will focus on the green difficult situation, the situation called long term, symbolized by a green infinity symbol. This difficult situation consists of all the times we think to the future and feel anxious, unsure of ourselves, worrisome, not knowing where we are going. Our goal when we find ourselves having long-term worry or worry about the future, our goal is to find a pathway, and more specifically to be in this constant process of finding our pathway. It is not like something we find one day and then we have it. It's not like that. It is to be in a constant iterative process, constantly asking questions, constantly communicating, looking for new ways, new perspectives, weighing options, listening to our own intuition, listening to the intuition of others. This is what I mean when setting the goal pathway. So when we are in long-term anxiety about the future, we want to be in a constant process of looking for a pathway for us and the ones we care about. That's it. And the backdrop for today's episode, the backdrop for this discussion is that I will speak about new technologies. Being a human being in this day and age is not the same as it was 50 years ago, 100 years ago. This goes without saying. We spend our time with our smartphones, on the internet, with social media, looking at clips, comments, threads, flows, memes, links. All of these examples I just counted have different emotional consequences for us. Not necessarily better or worse emotional consequences, but different. Being us now with smartphones feels different than it did before. And for those of my listeners who remember the time before smartphones, know this to be true. It just feels different. One aspect of technology and new technology, especially the technology that deals with our social life, can feel we can feel very strongly about this certain technology because we have not chosen to use this technology on our own initiative. I remember when I was in my late teenage years, when everybody started using social networks, and I didn't really feel like I had a choice, or I have had a choice, but the choice was use this new technology or in some sense be left behind. And this phenomenon is true for a lot of the new technologies now. Use this new technology or be left behind. That is sort of the emotional consequence of these new technologies. I guess now, present day, that the voice we are hearing both outside ourselves and inside our own head is use AI or be left behind. A lot of the examples we were shown what AI could do now the past year has been terrifying examples. We have been shown grotesque pictures made by AI. We have been shown absurd writings made by AI. Doomsday predictions, to name a few. Equally much as we have encountered these new technologies, we have encountered people speaking about new technologies. So it's not just AI falling into our lap and we can do what we want with it. We can, choose not to use it, or we can choose to use it. But there is more than that. There is a lot being said about how we are supposed to feel about AI, how we are supposed to use AI. To go back to when I was a teenager, when social media started arriving, one day I just went to school and I had a friend who said, hey, have you tried this new thing? And we checked it up together. So in a sense, the new technology just came to me before I had heard of it. There was no announcement. One day it just was there. But now, with AI, to a much, much higher degree, we are announced different narratives. We are announced different ways to feel about AI before it ever presenting itself to us. And that phenomenon is somewhat new, I would say, at least for my lifetime. All new technologies I can remember have been just one day they were just there, without much of an announcement, without anyone telling me what to feel about it. When I was a kid and I got a Game Boy, one day I just got a Game Boy. It wasn't like, Erik, this is how you're supposed to feel about the Game Boy. 2 years in advance, and then I get the Game Boy. That's not the case. And I am making my argument somewhat absurd on purpose, because I feel that it is quite unprecedented that we are told years in advance how to feel about something new, that we don't even know what it will be like. To use a psychological term, we are being primed. We are being primed in all sorts of directions. Feel like this or feel like that. If you don't do this, then that will happen. If you don't do that, then this will happen. It just goes on and on. Today's topic is how we find our pathway through technology. And I think a lot of it has to do with how we find our pathway through all the talk about technology. I know very little about AI, but I know a lot about the talk about AI. It's sort of like this abstract thing, like an entity. So AI already is like an entity even before we know it. Emotionally, inside of us, AI already is like an entity. We have made it an entity by talking so much about it. And with it comes a lot of expectations, a lot of hopes, a lot of fears. How is this new entity going to be, is what we all are thinking. What will this new mystical entity do for us? How will it affect my life specifically? Will this new entity treat me differently than others? Will I like this new entity? Will I get used to it? And in that case, how quickly will I get used to it? Will I recognize myself in a world where this entity controls many of the things that make up my daily life? Will I recognize myself? These are very big questions, and we all walk around with these questions right now. We all feel lonely with these questions. It can feel like I and the rest. It can feel like we are all waiting for something vast, waiting for something revolutionary. We are talking about this thing that will come, that will happen. Our own plans, our own ideas, our own sense of pathway starts feeling insignificant. Acting upon individual initiatives becomes more difficult. It simply doesn't feel as inspiring or as fun to act upon our own initiative if we feel insignificant. What am I compared to this entity, this superhuman intelligence? The things they're calling this superhuman intelligence, the singularity, something doing everything better than us. The sheer prospect of creating something that supersedes you and me. So whenever you and I meet, we are just supposed to feel lesser than this new entity. It is almost impossible to feel confident against this backdrop, to feel sexy, to feel interesting, to feel unique, to feel easygoing, to feel level-headed. Just about all life-affirming feelings becomes an effort, becomes very effortful to achieve. We have to sort of fake these feelings. We have to fake feeling confident. I know that I am not supposed to be confident because this new superhuman intelligence is so much more impressive than I am. But I have to fake it anyway. It is not strange that we feel worrisome about the future as we are talking about this. It's not strange at all. Right now, there is this convention or this expo called CES 2024, where all these companies present their new technology, their new inventions, and there is a lot of newness going on. There's a lot of novelty. And with every new thing arriving, with every new technology, there we are feeling something about ourselves. We are forced to make up our mind, or we're forced to make all these split-second decisions. It is very exhausting. The technology in itself might be kind of cool. I don't know. But since I am so exhausted, it's kind of hard to feel that. So we are living in a time of exhaustion. I think that's it. What I wanted to speak about today. Do you have anything you're thinking about or want to ask?
No.
Thank you.